Yes, I have seen where it's on.
Maybe one day we'll be blessed with some cooler weather.
You know, we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of things that the kids want to do. We see a lot of other areas or metropolis, even parts of our own metropolis, Michigan or, you know, New York district. They might be doing things that we want to do here. And let's talk about those things and how we can make them happen. You know, it's a step-by-step process. And then I want to really get down to sharing a calendar. Getting certain things on the calendar, talking about things that I would appreciate that nothing be scheduled on top of. So like district and metropolis things to avoid those dates so that we can all come together as a family, and then, you know, throughout the year we can have other kind of regional or like parish events.
So while we talk about the importance of ministry for our young people, I need to tell you that really starts with our adults. It starts with adults who have a sense of commitment. If you, if I, if Eva, if we're not committed as adults to this reality of God who not only spoke to us and speaks to us, but who loved us enough that he would take on our own shape and form. If we are not committed enough to that reality, we have a different problem, because our young people are going to learn from us if we're committed. So while everybody wants to put a lot of effort, and it's fine, I have no problem with that, into dealing with the young people, we also have to have an equal amount of effort, perhaps even more, of dealing with the adults. Our world is a little bit topsy-turvy right now. In our culture in particular, in our American culture, we see it very often that our adults want to emulate the teenagers. They want to look like the kids. And it's a problem. And so the kids who have no sense of moral balance and guidance because they haven't gotten it from the adults, they are becoming the leaders. The formula has been turned a little bit upside down. You are extremely important, not just in terms of the youth programs of the parish or of the metropolis. You are extremely important for the future success, for the future wholeness and the future health of our children. And it's not just for you. It's for all of our adults. If I, as the bishop, have a concern, it is not, you know, I know that a child, I kind of believe that prodigal son story. You know, the prodigal son, the one was good, stayed home with daddy, did whatever. The one said, no, I'm going on, and I'm going to do my own thing, and he went and did it. And he realized, we were mentioning this with Alex the other day, the Greek word is synilthe. He came to himself. He came to himself because he remembered that there was a better way. And he remembered that there was a better way because he lived it with his family. If you and I live those Christian truths, if we express that faith in our action and in our behavior, then even, I feel this way, even if our children should stray off the path at some point, they will come like the prodigal son to realize that they're eating the food for pigs. And there's a better way, because the son said, even he said, the laborers of my father's household have food to eat every day. And he knew that there was something better. So our example as adults, it's not simply a casual hobby. For us as adults, it is the reality of our belief and our faith and our commitment to the message of Christ, to the work of the church on this earth, and to the preaching of the gospel.
Something that's working out really well in Michigan and in New York is doing Saturday day retreats. So doing like a 12 to 8. Because, I mean, and I have no problem, let me go on the record to say, I have zero problem with lock-ins. The issue, I mean, a lot of people are worried with the youth protection policy and about supervision and what do we do. Everything that we do becomes an issue if we don't have appropriate supervision.
Even though I do work with the youth, I think almost any parent, when you describe that the prodigal son knew there was a better way to live because he had lived it with his own family, and that's what brought it back. And I think if parents sometimes can be reminded You know, think about what you are wanting for your child with every sport you take them to, every educational, whatever it is you take them to. But in our hearts, what's really the most important, and what do you want them to come back to? What do they come home to?
Things that she said that was really interesting to me. She said we need to start talking to the parents about these things before they get to young adults. Like, you know, what do you, like, you know, parents, what are you talking, when you're talking about the church at home, what are you saying? When you're talking about the priest at home, what are you saying? Because that's going to have a long-term implication on your kid when they grow up. All these things have an effect on them. Or whenever you're looking at colleges, even from an early point in high school, are you considering a college that's remotely close to an Orthodox church? Are you taking that into consideration when you're looking at colleges? Because if you send them to a college out in Timbuktu and there's no Orthodox church around, they're not going to go for 4 years basically, and then, you know, they may not ever come back to the church. So there's all those kinds of realities that we can be talking to parents about, even on a simple level.
Remember, the kids are looking for the person who can show them that this makes sense, and that means the adults. That we can live our lives in a way that gives glory to God, that is meaningful to the people around us, that is helpful, that brings everybody to salvation. So it only works if we're committed. And if we're committed, our young people will see that what we're teaching them is real. It's not some kind of story. It will work in their lives. It works for us. It will work in their lives, and it will make a difference. So it's the most important part of the message. We said, that, as Father Anthony was bringing up, this issue that you have ministry to the young people, but ministry to the young people implies a strong ministry to the adults. That's part of Ascension Church that Father's going to send you the notes out. So it implies a group of people who know what they believe and why. That's what it starts out with, what they believe and why.